So I've just opened my engagement in CCH Axcess Audit, and the first thing we'll see is this simple engagement overview. This gives us an overview of the engagement, including the client name, engagement details, the period end, the staff assigned to work on the audit, client contacts, a summary of the deliverables and when they're due, a summary of the engagement phase and where we are in the process of the audit. For the fieldwork, we've got a more detailed breakdown into the audit sections and the progress. We've linked in with the time and billing system, so we've got a summary of the number of booked hours versus budget. And here we've got a stream of the latest activity on the audit. For example, where an audit program's been signed off, where a PBC request has been sent, where a client's provided information, and so on. So the starting point for any data-driven audit is getting the data. So let's start with requesting the general ledger from the client. The tool has an underlying standard data model which covers each audit area. In this case, we're going to just request the general ledger, going to provide some notes to the client, including the period it needs to cover, and add that to our prepared by client list. That will automatically feed into our client collaboration tool. So this is the client's view of the client collaboration tool. So they can see the active engagements here, the users at their company, contact details for the CPAs working on their audit, and any recent files that they've uploaded. So if I click on the 2021 audit, I can see here a list of all the items that have been requested by the auditor. I can also see questions that the auditor has asked, and any documents that they provided to the client for review. So let's connect to or upload our general ledger data. This will take the client through a wizard whereby they select the accounting system they're using, choose how they want to obtain their data. So we can extract the data automatically from their system. This would require them to download an extraction tool and a configuration file, run the tool, and then provide the results. For exporting a database backup file or running a report in their system, we give them detailed instructions to make sure that they provide the data in a consistent format, which will allow us to automatically ingest that data and clean it without the auditor needing to get too involved. Once they've extracted the file, they can select the file on their computer and upload it to the system, and they're all done. They can return back to their prepared by client list and fulfill the rest of the auditor's requests. Now let's go back to the firm's view. And we can see here that the general ledger request from the client has been fulfilled and it's waiting for us to complete some account mapping. Also, you can see at the bottom here details of where we have prior year data from prior year binders. So this allows us to get historical insights when we're performing our data analysis. So let's do our account mapping now. The trial balance has automatically been mapped to groups and subgroupings based on the prior year's audit and the mappings that we used then. We also have machine learning to help with the mapping of new accounts into groups and subgroups. In this case, I've got a few accounts which we need to assign manually. So let's assign those. And now the trial balance is fully mapped to the financial statement and audit area captions. So we can go into our lead sheets. We can also look at our draft financial statements for the balance sheet and for the income statement as well. So let's say the client has provided us with a file and we want to upload that file ourselves. So let's say they've given us a PDF file. We can upload that PDF file to the system, select which system is the source, and then process that file. As the system has seen a Sage 50 PDF export of the GL before, it's automatically able to validate the source format, convert the file format, extracting the text from the PDF file, extract the data, the fields, and the individual transactions, map the fields in the raw data to our standard data model, and then validate the result, leaving the auditor just to preview the result and ensure it meets their needs. If the system wasn't automatically able to import that PDF file, then the tool would take the user through each step in the process to validate the format, convert the format, and so on. Finally, let's have another look at client collaboration. So here, as well as the data that we've requested, are other documents that we've requested from the file. You can see here the full PBC list. We can also filter this down to just the outstanding files and any questions we've asked the client through the client collaboration portal. We can add a new request very easily, selecting the category of the request, adding a description, any notes that we need to provide the client, who we want to assign the request to from the client, the due date, and we can also attach a file here. So for example, further instructions or an example of a file that they provided in the prior year so that they can provide the same file for this year.